The Samsung Galaxy Z Fold 6 is coming with the upgrades that we've all been waiting for, and it's looking like a great new addition to the foldable lineup. Let me know in the comments who out there is waiting for the Galaxy Z Fold 6, and make sure you subscribe so you don't miss a thing in the future. So first up, we've got a report from the Elec, and they state that Samsung is looking to change the shape of the Z Fold series, and they've reverse engineered Huawei's Mate X5 to look for inspiration on thinning down the Z Fold 6 while keeping a larger battery capacity. Many competitors have released thinner phones than the Z Fold series with larger battery capacities as well, and it seems Samsung are also going to follow suit. Now, another change they're going to be making is with the aspect ratio of the cover screen, and that's a change that I'm very excited for. The Z Fold 5 is a very premium phone, and I loved it, but the only problem for me was the narrow cover screen. TechRev also advised some time ago that the Fold 6 would see a major change in form factor, and according to many reports, they're going to be making the outer screen much wider than it was this year, which is great to hear. There were prototypes of the Z Fold 5 with a wider cover screen, but unfortunately they decided not to go ahead with it this year. Next up, we've got news that we're finally going to be getting dust resistance on the Z Fold 6 thanks to a new and improved hinge and display design. Its predecessor came with an IPX8 rating for water resistance only, but reports are stating that the Z Fold 6 will in fact be Samsung's first folding phone with dust resistance. Now, dust resistance is arguably more important than water resistance, so this is great to hear. We've also got news that, as expected, Samsung are working hard on a new display, which not only offers better durability than the current display, but there's also less creasing in the center of the display. Now, every year we have reports of no crease in the center of the display, but in reality that's very unlikely to happen anytime soon, but there will however be some improvements. Now, something that won't be changing however is the camera setup, and Ice Universe advises that it's exactly the same as the Fold 4 and the Fold 5, so that's a 50 megapixel primary camera, a 12 megapixel ultra wide, and then a 10 megapixel telephoto with 3x optical zoom. And for such a premium phone, it would be nice to see some camera upgrades, but I guess at the same time an expensive camera system would just drive the Fold's price even higher. There are also some rumors that say the Samsung Galaxy Z Fold 6 is not only going to come with an S Pen, but it's also going to be housed inside the Z Fold 6 as well. But to be clear, these are just rumors and there's no solid evidence to back them up. And we also hear this one every single year, but it never seems to happen. Although there were some prototypes last time that did house the S Pen, and to be fair, all Samsung need to do is make the S Pen a little bit thinner, as well as finding some internal space to store it, but we're gonna have to wait and see with this one. Now, of course, the new S Pen cases are also relatively good for holding your S Pen, and not everyone wants an S Pen, so I don't know how high this is going to be in Samsung's list of priorities. Now, the phone will of course come equipped with the Snapdragon 8 Gen 3 in all regions, along with 12GB of RAM and up to 1TB of storage, and considering they're working on thinning down the phone, it's unlikely we're going to see any increase to the battery capacity, but hopefully we will see improvements in fast charging. Now, for those of you excited for the Samsung Galaxy Z Fold 6 though, we're now going to run through the full specs, design and pricing to help you guys decide if it is worth the wait, so make sure you subscribe and we'll get right into it. So with the Samsung Galaxy Z Fold 6, we get a 7.6-inch foldable 120Hz dynamic AMOLED display. While it's the same size as its predecessor, we're expecting improvements in brightness, color accuracy, as well as durability. It's coming with a resolution of 1812 by 2176, and it's going to be protected by Samsung's newest ultra-thin glass. Now, there's also going to be less visible creasing in the center of the new foldable display, as well as water and dust resistance. For the external display, we get a 120Hz dynamic AMOLED protected by Gorilla Glass Victus 3. It's going to be a 6.2-inch display, and while the current resolution is unknown at the moment, Samsung are reportedly working on a much wider aspect ratio, and we're also going to see improvements to the brightness and color accuracy, and it will of course have a punch-hole camera in the top center. Now, the selfie cameras are going to be a 10 megapixel wide-angle camera on the cover display, followed by a 4 megapixel under-display camera on the internal display. Then over on the rear, it's a 50 megapixel primary camera, a 12 megapixel ultra-wide, and then a 10 megapixel telephoto with 3x optical zoom. Now, it's actually the same camera system used in the predecessor, but hopefully we will still see some improvements thanks to the software. It's going to be powered by the Snapdragon 8 Gen 3 globally, and we get 12GB of RAM with up to 1TB of storage, and this will of course be UFS 4.1. It's coming with a 4400 mAh battery, and while fast charging is still currently unknown, we're hoping for improvements to both wired as well as wireless charging. In terms of connectivity, we get advanced 5G, Bluetooth 5.3 and Wi-Fi 7, and then we also get ultra-wideband support, and it's coming with One UI 6 based on Android 14, and it's expected to launch from $1,850 in August 2024. So overall, the Samsung Galaxy Z Fold 6 is looking to remain fairly similar to its predecessor, and focus is on upgrading the hardware as well as the design. It seems that Samsung's main objective is to make the phone thinner and then also widen the aspect ratio of the external display, and this means it's probably not going to make anyone with the Z Fold 5 rush for an upgrade, but for anyone with an older Fold or looking to get their first Fold, then it's going to be a great choice. Now, I actually ended up returning my Z Fold 5 because I couldn't get on with the narrow cover display, so I'm very happy to hear this is changing. Now, of course, as soon as anything else comes in, I'm going to be sharing it straight away, so make sure you subscribe so you don't miss a thing in the future.